Hey everyone, and welcome back. As a New Yorker, as a New York homeowner, I should say, there's just so much out there, right? So many programs and resources when it comes to like home improvement help and repairs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
It
tons.
can be like super overwhelming to try to figure out what's out there.
It really can.
And that is why we are doing this deep dive today.
Absolutely.
We're looking at over 187 programs available in New York State.
187. That's a lot to keep track of.
It's a lot. And you know what we're going to try to do? We're going to try to help you find the best ones for you to give you the best chance of getting some financial assistance to make those upgrades.
That's the goal. Help you guys make your home improvement dreams a reality.
And don't worry if 187 sounds like a lot, because you know what? We put together all that information in this handy-dandy little resource link on the podcast page.
Oh yeah, definitely check that out.
Okay, so let's get into it, right? Let's talk about why we're even doing this deep dive in the first place.
Yeah, why are we here?
Well, because our sources tell us that a whopping 25%
25%.
of New York homeowners are having trouble affording necessary repairs.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's even crazier than that,
Oh no.
because 44% are putting off essential projects because of financial concerns.
Oh wow. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, so if you are in that boat, if you are feeling the pinch, you are not alone,
Not at all. And you know what's really interesting is that this isn't just a low-income issue, right?
right?
This is something that families across different income brackets are struggling with, particularly with, the cost of living being what it is in New York these days.
Absolutely. So, okay, we've got a lot of New Yorkers who need some help.
Yeah.
So where do they turn? Where do they even start?
Right. Where's the money?
Where's the money? Well, the good news is there's a lot of financial aid out there.
Okay.
It's coming from 5 main sources.
5 main sources. Okay. I am ready to break it down for us.
All right, so we'll start big picture, right? Federal programs.
Okay.
These are usually coming from HUD, housing and urban development.
They give a lot of funding to states, counties, and cities.
Okay.
Which then gets used for all these awesome local programs.
So like trickles down.
Exactly. Trickles down to the local level.
Okay, federal government, that's number one. What's next?
All right, then we've got the state itself, right? The state of New York, specifically the New York Department of Housing and Community Development.
Okay.
We'll call it HCD for short.
HCD, got it.
They manage a lot of that federal funding, and they run a bunch of statewide initiatives.
Okay, so it's kind of like a pipeline.
Exactly, a funding pipeline.
Federal to state. Okay, what about more like community level help?
Oh, yeah, great point. So that brings us to community organizations.
Okay.
These are often local nonprofits doing amazing work, really boots on the ground.
Awesome.
They might offer smaller grants for maybe like urgent repairs or even just help connect homeowners with other resources.
Love it, those local heroes. Okay, now let's go even closer to home.
Even closer, right? We're talking county and city programs now.
Okay.
And this is where we see the big bucks, folks.
Okay.
This is where the bulk of that funding is going, over $458 million last year alone.
Wow.
Yeah. And these programs are usually really tailored to the specific needs of each community.
Okay, so we've got federal, state, community, and then county and city level.
You got it. And for our fifth source, we can't forget about our rural residents.
Of course, yeah.
So we have resources specifically for rural residents.
Okay.
That's coming from a mix of sources, oftentimes larger county programs, and then also the USDA.
Okay.
USDA recognizes, the unique challenges that rural homeowners face.
Absolutely. So we've got a good mix of funding sources here.
We do.
But now I'm curious, does that mean there are programs for basically anything you need to get done around the house?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like, could I get help with replacing my roof and fixing my leaky faucet with the same program?
You actually might be surprised. A lot of these programs aren't limited to one specific type of repair.
Really?
Yeah, so let's say you need that new roof, right? But you've also been putting off fixing those drafty windows.
Yep, been there.
The same program might actually cover both. It really comes down to finding the right fit for what you need.
Okay, so it's really important to kind of do your research
Absolutely.
and figure out, which programs are going to help with the specific things that you need to get done.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's talk eligibility, because I think there's kind of this assumption out there
What's that?
that these programs are just for low-income families.
Ah, yes, the classic misconception.
Is that true?
Not necessarily. So while some programs do prioritize low-income households, eligibility is often based on the median income for your area.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so you could have a moderate income homeowner in a, more expensive part of the state who might qualify for aid that someone in a low-cost area wouldn't.
Huh. So it really depends on where you live.
It really does. It's all relative.
Okay, so this is where it becomes super important to do that research.
Absolutely. You got to do your homework.
And that's where I am so happy to tell everyone about the resources that we have put together on our podcast page.
Yes, please check those out.
Because we've got a really comprehensive list of programs broken down by location, by the type of repair you need. and it's a great starting point for your exploration.
It really is. And you know what? We put a lot of work into this, so trust us, it's good stuff.
It is good stuff. Seriously, folks, check out that link. We would not steer you wrong.
Never.
All right, so we've talked about all these different sources for funding and the eligibility and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get down to brass tacks, right?
Yeah, let's get specific.
Let's give some examples of some actual programs that New Yorkers can look at.
Absolutely. So let's imagine a few different scenarios here.
Okay.
Let's say you're a senior homeowner, you're living on a fixed income,
Okay.
and your roof is just shot.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's a situation a lot of people find themselves in.
It is, unfortunately. What are your options, right?
Right, what can they do?
Well, in a lot of counties across New York, there's a program called Restore,
Restore. Okay.
and it focuses specifically on these kind of emergency repairs for seniors 60 and older.
Okay, that sounds promising.
It is. It often provides grants of up to $10,000 to cover the cost of those repairs.
$10,000, that's huge.
It is. It can really make a difference, and just imagine the peace of mind that could bring.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's seniors. What if you're a veteran who needs help, making your home more accessible because of a disability?
Ooh, good question. The VA actually has some really great programs for just that situation.
Okay.
They offer grants and renovation loans specifically for veterans
Nice.
to adapt their homes to their needs. So whether that means installing ramps, widening doorways, making bathroom modifications, they've got you covered.
That's awesome. Okay, so we've got seniors, we've got veterans. What about, a younger family in like a suburban area who's dealing with, maybe some plumbing issues or something?
Ooh, plumbing issues, never fun. In that case, I would say their best bet is to check out their county's specific programs.
Okay.
Remember, we talked about over $458 million going to those county and city initiatives?
Right, right.
Well, a great example is the Home Improvement Program in Monroe County.
Monroe County. Okay, what's special about that one?
So they provide grants of up to $14,000 for homeowners,
Wow.
which could easily cover those plumbing woes, and they're really dedicated to helping families create safe and healthy living environments.
That's great. Okay, so I'm thinking about the people whose counties aren't specifically mentioned in our resources.
Yeah, good point.
Should they just give up hope?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
If your county isn't listed, it doesn't mean there's no help out there.
Okay.
In fact, it's very likely that your local housing department actually runs programs that just might not be as widely advertised.
Oh, okay.
So how do you find out about those?
Yeah, how do you find those hidden gems?
Well, our resource page actually includes a link to help you find the contact information for your local housing department.
Oh, perfect.
So a quick phone call or an email could open doors you didn't even know existed.
It never hurts to ask.
Never hurts to ask.
Okay, so we've talked about programs across the state, but let's zero in on New York City.
Okay, the Big Apple.
Are there specific programs for homeowners in the city?
Oh, you bet there are. New York City has a whole set of programs managed through its 5 boroughs,
Okay.
plus 2 citywide programs that are specifically for seniors.
Wow, so it's kind of like its own little ecosystem there.
It is. It makes sense, though, right? A city as big and as diverse as New York is going to have its own dedicated resources.
Absolutely. Okay, so what are some examples of some of the standout programs there?
All right, let's start with Brooklyn,
Okay.
or Kings County as it's officially known.
Right.
They have this amazing organization called Neighborhood Housing Services,
Okay.
and they offer some fantastic programs. One is home repair loans, which provide low-interest financing up to $100,000.
$100,000.
I know, right?
Wow.
For homeowners who are tackling repairs on 1 to 4 unit properties.
Okay.
So that's a pretty significant chunk of change.
It is. What kind of interest rates are we talking here?
Really reasonable. They range from 3% to 6%, so it can be a real game changer for folks who maybe don't qualify for traditional loans
Right.
or just can't stomach those high interest rates.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. Okay, so that's home repair loans. What other programs does Brooklyn have?
They also have the Accessibility Assistance Grant, which is specifically for Brooklyn veterans,
Okay.
and it helps them improve mobility within their homes.
Awesome.
So, making sure that they can live safely and comfortably.
I love that. Okay, so Brooklyn's doing a good job. What about the other boroughs?
All right, let's move on to Queens.
Okay.
Queens is another powerhouse when it comes to home improvement aid.
Okay.
They have a whopping 20 programs.
20.
20. One that stands out is the Emergency Home Repair Program.
Okay, what makes that one special?
So they offer low-interest forgivable loans to tackle urgent issues like, a broken boiler, a leaking roof, even sidewalk violations.
Forgivable loans, so you might not even have to pay them back.
In some cases, yes.
Wow.
The terms vary depending on the program and, the homeowner's circumstances.
Right.
But it's definitely a possibility.
That's amazing. Okay, what about Manhattan? Anything good in Manhattan?
Manhattan always has something up its sleeve, right?
Right.
They have a similar program called Home Fix Rehab.
Okay.
And they offer low or no interest loans up to $60,000 with an additional $30,000 per rental unit.
Wow.
So a four-family home could potentially receive up to $150,000 in assistance.
That is
A
incredible.
lot of money.
Okay, so we've got Brooklyn, we've got Queens, we've got Manhattan. What about the other boroughs?
Don't forget about the Bronx and Staten Island.
Of course, yes.
They both have their own unique sets of programs,
Okay.
so it's worth exploring what's available in those boroughs as well.
All right, so it's pretty clear New York City homeowners have a lot of options.
They do.
But what about upstate? What's the outlook for people upstate?
So things might look a little different outside of the city,
Okay.
but there's still a lot of support to be found.
Good.
Let's take Erie County, for example.
Erie County, okay, home to Buffalo.
Home to Buffalo, exactly. They have 5 programs worth highlighting.
Oh, okay, not bad.
Not bad at all. So first up, they've got their housing rehabilitation program offering loans up to $15,000 at a 0% interest rate.
0%. That's like free money.
It practically is. They also have a lead paint remediation program providing grants to low and moderate income homeowners with children under 6 to address lead hazards.
Oh, that's so important, especially with older homes.
It's really vital, and they don't stop there. They also have a mobile home repair program,
Okay.
a housing accessibility program, and even a utility connection program to help homeowners cover the cost of connecting to new sewer and water lines.
Wow, they've really thought of everything.
They really have. And you know what? It just goes to show, even if a specific county isn't mentioned in our resources,
Yeah,
it's always worth reaching out to their housing department directly.
right. You never know.
You never know what you might find.
Okay, so Erie County is looking pretty good. What other upstate locations stand out?
All right, let's talk about Monroe County.
Monroe County, okay.
Homer to Rochester,
Okay.
they have a fantastic home improvement program that provides grants up to $14,000,
Okay.
and they'll even combine that with a 3% loan if needed.
Wow, that's great. What kind of repairs do they cover?
Everything from structural issues like, roofs and foundations
Mhm.
to major system upgrades like plumbing, heating, electrical.
Okay.
They even help with accessibility accommodations like ramps and lifts.
Like a one-stop shop.
They really do cover all the bases. And here's the kicker.
Okay.
Rochester itself, the city within Monroe County, has 4 additional programs.
What?
Yeah, they're going above and beyond.
So there's the county level and then the city level as well.
Exactly. So you've got options on options.
What are those 4 extra programs about?
All right, so they have an emergency assistance program for furnace and boiler issues,
Okay.
a housing rehabilitation program, an owner-occupant roof program, and a lead hazard control program.
Wow. Okay, I think we've officially proven that there's help out there.
Yes,
For every New York homeowner, no matter where they live or what their financial situation is.
absolutely. The key is to be proactive, do your research, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes,
You're not alone in this journey.
Right.
There are people and programs ready to support you.
exactly. Okay, so before we move on, let's remind our listeners about those valuable resources one more time.
Yes, please.
Head over to our podcast page, and you will find a treasure trove of information
Treasure trove.
that you've put together just for you. We've got links to program websites, contact info for those local housing agencies, and even tips on how to apply for aid.
We've done the heavy lifting for you.
Okay, so it sounds like you've really thought of everything. You've put together an amazing guide for our listeners.
I tried my best.
You really did, but before we wrap things up,
Mm-hmm.
are there any other resources or organizations that, homeowners should be aware of?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We can't forget about those amazing community organizations.
Right.
The ones that are really out there making a difference.
Absolutely.
So these are the groups that often step in to help homeowners who might not qualify for those, bigger government programs.
Okay.
So we're talking about, groups like Habitat for Humanity,
Right.
Rebuilding Together NeighborWorks.
Yeah, those are fantastic.
They're amazing. They might provide volunteer labor for repairs,
Okay.
offer financial counseling, or even just connect homeowners with other resources that they might not know about.
And speaking of Habitat for Humanity, we can't forget about the Restores.
Oh, the Restores.
Oh my
A
gosh.
treasure trove.
Yes, for homeowners, you
Yeah.
can find everything there.
Literally everything.
Appliances, building materials, furniture, home decor.
And it's all at crazy discounted prices.
I know, it's awesome, and you're supporting a great cause while you're at it.
Exactly.
And you're being environmentally friendly.
It's a win-win-win.
It really is. Okay, so it sounds like we've covered a lot of ground here today.
We really have.
It seems like there are a lot of options available for New York homeowners.
Tons of options, no matter where you live in the state.
From federal and state programs to county and city initiatives to those community organizations and restores.
So much help out there just waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely. And like we've been saying throughout this episode, we have compiled all of those resources for you in one easy-to-access location on our podcast page.
Please go check it out.
Yeah, you'll find links to program websites, contact info for those local housing agencies, and even tips on how to apply for aid.
We made it easy peasy for you.
We did. Okay, so before we sign off, I want to leave our listeners with this thought.
Okay.
Knowing everything that we've talked about today, what one home improvement project would you prioritize?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And which program seems like the perfect fit for you and your situation?
I love that question.
It's time to put all this knowledge into action and make those home improvement dreams a reality.
Go out there and renovate.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
See you next time.